Okay.
Oh,
Tell me when you can see it.
I can see it.
Okay, so first things first, you need to be paying attention. Well, okay, I guess you were setting up the screen share, but yeah, paying attention to if bot lane leashes are not very important. You just get the bot side start here. So the thing about that we need to talk about from the start is the thing about ganking a lane like a Jace, and like with the gangplank especially, like a lane that's like always gonna lose, is especially as an early game jungler. Like if you're playing a different jungler who needs gold, and it's like the dude is always pushed up, you just want to kill him to get yourself ahead. That's one thing, right? But you're playing Elise, you know, you don't want to go late. You want to break open the game as soon as possible, and the easiest way to do that, like you want to get first turret, you want to blow open the game. Basically, that's your goal every game. You know, no matter how, like it'll differ how you do it. You know, maybe you kill the enemy jungler 8 times, maybe you kill their bot lane 8 times, maybe you kill their top lane 8 times. You know, you blow open you can blow open the game in different ways, but your end goal is always going to be blow open the game. And the best way to do that is you get early tower, and then you transition that into more early towers with your gold and whatever. You use the control you get from breaking towers to kill them in the jungle. You know, you get your items on Elise, you just one-shot people easy. But this game, you have no focus of like what you want to do at all. First things first, I don't think it's inherently wrong to start bottom here, but I feel like starting top is better here because you don't want to, like okay, ganking this lane like maybe one time early on is okay, but the thing you have to know, if the enemy jungler starts bottom with you, granted it's a Warwick, he's not the greatest level 3 duelist, he's okay. If the enemy jungler starts bottom with you and you go top, like he's gonna be there with you. Like the thing is, how this gank is gonna go, okay? You're gonna walk up to Jace. If he's not really, really bad, he's gonna flash your cocoon, and then you're gonna have to run him down the lane. You might kill him with red buff, and like if GP hits a barrel and stuff, you might kill him if you run him down the lane. The thing is, Warwick is going to do the same path as you. He's starting bot side, he's going to Wolves, he's going to blue, and then if he sees you gank top, he's going to take the blast, he's going to run up, he's going to counter gank you. The thing is, this is not a gank that goes fast, you know? Unless the dude horrifically misplays, and I'm saying takes a tower hit under cocoon or something, or gets like barreled in the cocoon, full combo dead, it's not going to be a fast kill. And if it's not a fast kill, you're going to get counter-ganked. And if you get counter-ganked, you lose because you don't win this 2v2. You have Gangplank, who's a piece of shit champion until items. So you go top here, and it's really fucking scary because if he plays that, if the enemy jungler or the enemy top laner plays it well at all, it just doesn't work. Like, for a multitude of reasons. Either you don't kill him or you get counter-ganked, and then you die as an early game jungler, and the game becomes really, really hard. So as far as the mechanical part, it's fine. You just smite and clear. You run up here, go for the gank, you go around, which is what you should do because he's playing all the way up at the tower, and he dives in, takes tower hits. So here's, so your cocoons, this whole game, not even just like the fact that you missed, it's like the way you throw them is that you either throw them too late or too early all the time. And we'll talk about that more for some of the other examples. God, I hate VLC. But for this one in particular, like he kind of just dies. Like this one's whatever. But what you should do here is whenever you have red buff, you never lead with cocoon. Okay, you always lead with auto attack first. You auto attack W, Q, because basically when you auto attack W, Q, like people are looking to flash your cocoon, right? Every time. When you auto-attack them first, so they're slowed, it's harder for them to juke it normally, and then you WQ, and most people will flash on that, because they'll see an action start from you, and they'll be like, shit, gotta flash. Because, like, most people don't have the reaction time to flash when they see the cocoon, especially if you're throwing it from a range like this. If you're sitting, let me pull out my pen. If you're sitting, like, right here instead, you can see the pen, right?
Yeah.
If you're sitting right here instead, and you throw cocoon, then he's gonna flash it. Like it's easy to flash because he's gonna react to it, right? Because you're throwing it from so far. But if you're throwing it from where you are right here, right? It's such a shorter angle, right? His time to flash it shortens greatly, especially if you're auto attacking him for like red buff and stuff. Which is why, like a lot of the time, like in situations, you'd be like right here and you throw cocoon. Whereas you should be doing you should walk to like where you are here, maybe even like a little closer, like auto attack him here, and then walk to here, and then he'll be like right here, and then you just throw the cocoon there. Like you throw the cocoon either too early, or too late, and you can throw cocoon early, but you have to throw it from fog. But we'll talk about that because there's plenty of situations where I can talk about that later. But this just works out because he plays up way too far, he just dies. Okay.
Yeah, I walked up really close because I was planning on autoing, but then I didn't auto.
Yeah, so it's just a good habit into no push because he's too low. You won't push it in time. So this is the other, like, just
Yeah.
cocoon him immediately. Like, you cocoon him immediately here, and then if he dodges it, you flash, you eat of this, you get out. That's about it. Like, you just hold cocoon for, you hold cocoon, you hold flash. Like, you're gonna have to blow, like, you cocoon first, and if he dodges it, then you flash, right? But you hold on so long that he just runs you down. That's literally the extent of this play. You hold on so long, and then he just kills you.
Yeah.
That's really all there is to it. Okay. So then you buy a jungle item here. That's fine. You don't have enough for control. Top lane gets dove. And then you go to Gromp, which is your only camp. This is fine. You want to smite this, that's fine. You have 2 smites. Do it right on the HP, that's good. Walk into bot jungle here, that's fine. Okay. And so here so this is all well and good until you don't ward. So you have 2 trinket wards, okay? So there's 2 wards as a jungler that you always want. You want, I'm gonna have to do it off minimap. You want this one at rafters, and you want this one on the blue buff bush. And then obviously opposite side the same is true. Rafters and blue buff bush, okay? These are the 2 wards that give you the most information all the time. Warding camps is fine too, especially with zombie, but these are like the 2 big ones that you always want because you get the most information about whatever they're doing. You know, if he walks, here, let me remove this. If he's walking, let me just grab a different tool. Okay, whatever. If he's walking upwards, okay, he walks this way, then you know from this ward, you know exactly where he's going. He's going top jungle, okay? If he walks this way, then you know which way he's going. He's going into the bot river, or he's going to look to go to your jungle, right? Same thing with the ward here. You know, if he's walking to the left, he's going Gromp. He's walking up, he's going river. If he's walking down, he's going bot side jungle. Like that ward gives you all the information. This ward gives you all the information, and it also sees if they're ever doing blue. Also sees if they're ever doing rafters. So those 2 wards are the most important. So you always want to get those out. So you see Warwick die top, so you have a chance to go into his jungle here after you grab Gromp, which is fine. You have a chance to go into his jungle here and ward, but you look for mid first, which is like, don't get me wrong, it's like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the thing is like you always want to get the ward. Like you can get the ward first, or like you should get the ward after. Like, but like if I hadn't told you, you were like leaving without warding at all, which is like real bad. Yeah. So you go for the gank here. You're kind of it works out. I remember when this happened, you were like, wait, why was he not ready? Basically, like you can tell from his body language that he's like not really expecting you to do it because he's walking away. Not at all at this point. Like I don't even think he saw you. Like not once during this whole like part that you're watching the trade does he ever motion towards Aria again. Which like, and this is kind of like a more advanced thing, but it's like if you notice that they're not motioning like that, you need to ping. And even at all, like you don't ping enough, which we'll also get into later. But like you need to be pinging like 7 on my ways. Like I'm like you literally need to be pinging like 7 on my ways. Like
usually I ping a lot, but like I was like wasn't really focused this game.
That's fine. So you go for the dive here. That's fine. You don't have aggro because there's creeps, and then I believe Katarina just fucking kills him or something.
Yeah, she dies too though.
Okay, that's fine. Use trade. Grab the wave. Okay. So yeah, you just push the wave here. That's fine.
So like I didn't gank bot a lot because I was looking at it and they were pushing a lot, so I didn't know if I should have just went bot or.
Okay, so well, first off, okay, so you're warning this, and then you see Warwick come out from the right. Okay, so basically, the problem is everything from jungle stems from, once again, like these to wards. Like, I can't stress like how important it is. Like,
Yeah.
when you watch, like, I'm sure you've watched like good junglers play and stuff, and the really good ones, like, they'll counter gank like all the time, and they always know where the enemy jungler is. They don't have fucking ESP. They don't have a map hack. It's literally, once you see a jungler, you hit tab, you see him once, you see where he walks on a ward, and you see his CS and his HP and like what he has. You know, if you're on the dot, you will know exactly what they're gonna do off of that. And basically, like, whenever a lane is pushed and you know where the enemy jungler is, even sometimes if you don't know where the enemy jungler is, you can just go to it. And then just if there's a chance that he's bottom, then all you do is you make sure you don't overcommit for the gank if the counter gank can come. And that's basically the extent of it. The thing is, like, yeah, you say, okay, bot lane was getting pushed in all the time. Well, so was top lane, right? And mid lane doesn't have any setup for you. Like, the problem with this game, and you'll see it, like, it's coming soon, or relatively soon, is like all your ganks top don't do anything. For the state of the game.
That.
It doesn't do anything with the state of the game. So yeah, he just ends here. There's not much else to say about this. So you take your base here, and I think this is where you go top. You do your rafters. You see Warwick on his, and then you're like, okay, I see Warwick. I'm gonna go for this top gank. So here's the thing that not enough people realize. This is a bad gank. Okay, you're gonna kill him. It's almost guaranteed that you're gonna kill him because he's way too far pushed up without a ward and try. You're gonna kill him. You get the kill. This is a bad gank anyway. And the reason this is a bad gank is because, one, if Warwick's bottom, he just dives your bot lane here. You lose turret and you lose dragon. You have nothing to trade. Rift is not up. Two, this gank does absolutely nothing to advance the state of the game for you. All it does is get you gold. You get gold from farming camps. Your purpose for a gank is to basically help the state of the game in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes, if it's like a really snowbally match up top, even if you don't get any map pressure off of it, but it helps your laner win the lane, like it turns the lane for him. Like, I don't know, if it's like Jax Aurelia or something, or like it's a Darius lane, and like he gets a kill and suddenly he can bully the rest of the lane. You know, that changes the map impact. But you're ganking for Gangplank against Jace. What's going to happen is Jace is going to die to this gank. He's going to walk back to lane, and he's going to keep winning this lane. Because he's Jace. It doesn't actually do anything for him. And you can't get tower pressure either, because GP hasn't even fucking seen this turret all game, because he's GP against Jace. And you can't kill the turret. We're not 13 minutes into the game. We're not 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes into the game. You can't kill the turret on one push, even if he doesn't have TP. So this gank is going to succeed in, you're gonna kill him, okay? But the problem is, like, you shouldn't be looking for this gank in the first place. Like, mechanically, like, great, you know, you wait for him to Q to you, you get the cocoon off, you kill him, great. But the gank itself just doesn't do anything. And if Warwick is bottom, which I think he is, I think he does end up showing bottom, he doesn't have to worry about anything, because he knows you're top. He just runs a train on your bot lane here, and they die. And you get to trade some, so this is like a small mechanical thing. Like, when you do the blue here, well, first off, you get the plant a little late, so you're a little late on the blue. And the second thing is, you don't want to do blue from, like, right here. You want to do it either right, you want to pull it to, get on my pen, you want to pull it from right here to, like, right here, do it right here. Or you want to pull it all the way, downwards.
Either down, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't pull it because I didn't expect the Jace to come over. I should have.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, it's not common all the time that the laners will defend the jungler stuff. Like, I'm sure you've experienced it, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's a good habit to get into. Especially, like, he comes from a weird angle. Like, most people will come from here, which is why I pull it right there. But even if he comes from this angle, right, if you're right here, you can see him. When he comes, you just walk out. You just smite it and you walk out. And then he's going to go back to lane because he's missing creeps. And then if you still see Warwick bottom here, then you just walk back in from here and take his wolves. Okay?
Okay.
But since you die here, like, obviously you don't get
So then, After Raptors, what should I have done? Should I just ran to my bot wolves?
Okay, so we'll go all the way back. So this is the mid play. So you go to Raptors here. You don't have to do Raptors. You can literally go to Wolves and then go bottom.
Yeah.
You can literally go Wolves into bottom. Yeah, the blast plan is still up too. Like you can literally just Wolves into bottom and then kill him. And then the thing is like either you get turret pressure or you get dragon. Like here's the thing, right? You gank top lane here, okay? And you get maybe his blue buff, and that's it. Okay? But you gank bot lane here, okay? You gank bot lane from here, and then you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And you get wards off of it, you know? You get bot side wards off of it too. And the thing is like you basically like you don't want to spread out your ganks, you know? It's not we're not trying to be charitable to everyone, you know? The best way to play jungle as an aggressive champion is you pick the one lane that you can break turret early on and you can repeat gank really easily, generally like a winning lane, and you just shit on that lane over and over. You know, if this guy is on a losing matchup, you say, bro, you're sure to pick GP if you want ganks, and you just don't come top. You know, like that's literally all there is to it. Basically, like if the enemy jungler is smart, like he's gonna dive GP 40 times. You know, this guy's not gonna exist. Like he's just gone. But the thing is, like your goal is you don't want to be playing for a losing lane because then you're just trading. You're trading kills at best. That's literally your best case scenario. And the worst case scenario, if you try to play the losing lane, is you don't kill him, you waste your time, you lose everything else on the opposite side, and that's bad. You want to play to your winning lanes because not only does it make it easier to gank, it makes it easier to transition off of a successful gank. You know, like I said, you literally did kill this guy. You killed this guy twice, and you get literally nothing off of it both times, because that's just the nature of the matchup. You go bot lane here, you get one kill. Not only is it easier because like Blitzcrank has his flash like the whole lane. Every single time Blitzcrank has flash and you have flash, it's like 100% guaranteed kill. He flash E's, you flash E, it's a kill. You get this, one of the three, or multiple. That's all. It's so simple. But like the problem, and the thing is like your path aligned for it too. Like you could have just done wolves at any point, just walk bottom. Like if you really felt you needed HP, you could do rafters, wolves in the bottom. Like there's plenty of things you could have done. So then what happens is you go for top, and then afterwards you get your Mobies, your middle because mid gets soloed. You're just chilling here. Did I miss anything in the meantime? No, I don't think so. Okay, so then Blitzcrank shows up here. Go for the gank here. So the big thing here, like aside from the fact that you missed the cocoon, is so you still have your Mobies here, right? Right now. Why aren't you throwing cocoon? Like this is you're so close, right? Like this is when you should throw it. Like you should smite and then throw it. Like that's literally it. But you throw it first. You throw it first. Like the fact that you missed is not the problem. The fact is that you're throwing it improperly. Like that's what you should be focused on. Like sometimes you're just gonna miss, okay? Like sometimes you just have an off day or you have an off game, or like for this, like you're playing with like weirder FPS or you're not used to gang wash, whatever. So you're missing more than usual. That doesn't matter, okay? Because that's gonna happen. What matters is you're throwing it improperly. Not in the sense that you're missing, but you're throwing it without using your other spells first to bait jukes. You're not using red buff or your smite slows beforehand. You're basically like giving yourself the lowest possible chance to hit it. And can you still hit it? Of course. But you don't want to make it any harder on yourself than you have to. Like you want to just assure it as much as you can by using your other abilities as much as you can to bait jukes, bait flashes, whatever, and then follow the flash or follow the juke after based on their movement pattern. And whenever you have a slow available to you, whether it's smite, red buff, someone else on your team slowing them, you want to use that as much as you can before you throw the cocoon. So the cocoon misses, big deal. He hits the hook, you kill him. So he kind of bails you out. But you know that's what's important, just like knowing how to properly throw it. So this is a common trend with you in this game. I don't know if it's because you don't like being watched or whatever, but a lot of this game you waste time because you go to do one thing and then you're like, no, I don't want to do that, and then you double back. So you actually waste a lot of time this game doing
Yeah.
small things like that. I don't know if that's, like I said, I don't know if this is a common thing for you. I'm pointing out as I see it. It happened a lot this game. A lot of
Yeah.
times this game, you're just like, you see it, but you realize, and then you go do something else. And part of this is because that just comes with experience. You know, I can see a situation and I know immediately either I'll make it to help or there's no point in me going, I'm going to do something else. Part of that is because I played so much, I know the situations. But the other part is I F key all the time, and I give myself more time to process the situation because I'm watching the map more. And you don't F key enough. There's a lot of times you're farming camps or whatever and you're not F keying. Is there like a particular reason you don't F key? Just never got into the habit, or it's like it's awkward to hit, or what's up?
Uh, FK as in like.
Like the F1, F2, F3, F4. Just
Oh,
like the
um, I've heard people say that you should do it, and I've never done it because I felt like I've never needed to. Because usually I usually can see like the position where they are from the lane, can conclude what's going on and looking at HP just real quick. And for this game, I wasn't really paying attention to summoners at all. I was trying to think more like listening to what you tell me to do and then like responding to that. I feel
okay,
like I was very indecisive this game
okay.
with my
So
decisions because like don't know, oh, is this right or wrong to do?
okay, so here's the thing about F keys. Okay, this was the same. I'm gonna use the same argument people use against counting CS last season. Counting CS this season, a lot harder, a lot less applicable. But counting CS last season, very, very good. So here's the thing, okay? And this is called like the Saint Vicious argument, okay? Because Saint Vicious, he's like, who needs to count CS if you just know where the enemy jungler is based off timings? And you know, technically that's true, okay? Yeah, technically, if you know every single timing for every single champion, then you don't need to count CS, okay? If you know every single timing and every single, like, you know, based on the second you see them, you see their HP, you see their mana, you see what time they're leaving the jungle, you know all those, every champion, every timing, based on every leash, okay, good. You don't need to count CS because you know, okay? Good, you don't need to count CS. And that's the same argument with F keys, you know? You can look at it, right? You have a general idea, you know? You say, like, I don't need an F key because I'm really good at clicking. Whenever something goes on the map, I'm clicking already. I'm always there. Yeah, if you're really, really, really good, you know, every single time you're always watching these HP bars on the side. Whenever there's two champions next to each other on the minimap, you're clicking over every single time. Whenever two people are like in like trading range, you realize in your head, okay, they're trading. If you know every single part of that at every single point in the game, you don't need an F key, okay? Good. You don't if you're that good, sure, you don't need an F key. But it's not about the fact that like it's like it's not about the fact that like you're good or anything. It's literally just the fact that it's consistent, you know? It's easy, you know? You don't put any pressure on yourself. Like if you're playing a champion past the first like 10 games you're playing them and you're like past like gold elo, you shouldn't need to look at your champion when you're clearing. Okay? Looking at your champion when you're clearing is pointless because it doesn't do anything for you. So if it doesn't do anything for you, why not just F key, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is like you need a click to right click, right? But if you're click like if you, oh my god, I'm so dumb. If you need a click to auto attack, right?
Yeah.
So if you're using your clicks to look at the map, then you're not using your clicks to kill to auto attack the camps, right? Which is why it's just easier to F key. You know, it's not about the fact that you aren't seeing the map at all. It's about the fact that you can make it easier to see the map, and making it easier on yourself, like watching it more, gives you more time to process the information. Like if you had watched this Jace, okay, we'll just use this Jace as like what's going on top as an example, right? So after all this, so you pan right now, okay? You pan and see Jace, but if you had panned, like he's hitting the turret for a while. If you panned over, let's say the second you're safe from this guy, okay? He leaves, boom, pan right now. 26 seconds, okay? Instead of when do you pan? Let's see. 28, 29, 30, 31, okay? 5 seconds later. So you start walking, and then you're like, wait, I can't do anything. if you had seen that 5 seconds earlier, would you have walked? Hell no, because you know it's dead already. No point. So you're just immediately on the red buff. You save yourself 5-10 seconds, and that's 5-10 seconds going towards whatever you want to do. And when you do this 5-10 times a game, you're saving yourself like a minute worth of wasting time. And you know what you can do in a minute worth of time? You can do a lot of stuff. You can go gank. You can take 2 camps. You can deep ward. You can do the Rift Herald in a minute. You can solo dragon in a minute. That's a lot of time that adds up over the course of the game. That's what the F keys are there for. It's a convenience tool. Okay?
Yeah.
The thing is, if you think the F keys are too far, that's one thing, okay? Because then it's not convenient. So if you think the F keys are too far, you can do what I always tell people to do. You just put them on Z, X, and C. And then the last one, that one's up to you. Some people put it on V, but that is a ping button. If you use that, you might not want to do that. Some people put it on A. If you attack move with that, then it's awkward. You put it on B. Most people put that on recall, so that's awkward. So the last one, a little harder for people. But ZX and C, the reason why it's so good is because a lot of people like to hit spacebar a lot to recenter when they play. And then it makes it really simple, right? Because you just ZXC, and then you see things on the map. And then once you've processed the information, you just spacebar or center back on yourself. And then it's very fluid. You know, it's all right next to each other on the keyboard. So if you want to get into F keying, I suggest if you think the maybe you have a huge hand. You know, some people like, I talk to them, they're like, yeah, the F keys are really easy to hit. My hand's huge. It's like, okay, yeah, if that works for you, go. But if you're getting into it or you think it's just too out there on your keyboard, whatever keyboard you're using, then you can just try it, rebinding it, and it's a lot easier for people, and they find that it helps a lot. So that's that. Because there are a lot of times where there's fights going on, like literally like right now, right? Like, like you don't know what's going on. You know, you might see that it's happening, but you might not see like what's going on in the fight, right? And like maybe for only just like a second, like you see like Warwick or something that you might not have seen if you're only looking at minimap. And then the thing is, like, if you see Warwick for 1 second, you know what that means: free topside jungle. So it's just like, that's why like having the F keys just for consistency helps so much. So clear your red here. You see Warwick, so Jin's dead. So this is a thing that a lot of junglers, not just you, have an issue with. Okay, you play, like, playing reactive is like reactive is not the word I like to use, because reactive, like, everything you do should almost always be like, playing reactive isn't bad, because like technically, like, I see Warwick here, okay? I see Warwick in my head. I'm playing, okay, so if I'm you, I see this, bot lane is fighting, I see Warwick, and then I react to seeing Warwick, and I say, thanks for the topside jungle, okay? The thing is, reactionary play is fine as long as you're reacting correctly. You see Jin getting accosted by the Warwick bot side when you're topside, and you say, I got Mobies, let me run over there. Whereas the correct play most of the time, like, sometimes that's the right play, okay? Sometimes you do make it in time and you can save them, and then it turns into a good play. But more often than not, this is a huge waste of time.
Yeah.
And it's a huge waste of time here. And the correct play is just go take his topside jungle or get something on the top side. You know, whether it's Gromp into killing Jace, or it's Wolves into Gromp, or it's just Rift Herald, okay? You want to react accordingly to when you see the enemy jungler. You know, if you're close, sometimes the reaction is go counter gank. Sometimes the reaction, even if you're close, is I can't counter gank, keep doing what I'm doing. And most times it's going to be he's on the opposite side, or I won't make it to help. I'm going to take something from him in return. You don't do enough of that.
Yeah.
Once again, I only see one game, so maybe you do this, but it's something that it's very rare to see out of junglers below, like, well, it's different for everyone. It really depends on the champions you play. Some people don't even do it at fucking Challenger, but it's just a really good habit to get into, and it's just a really good thing. Maybe keep it on a notepad or something next to you or something. Enemy jungler bottom, I go top. I take his camps top, I ward his top. Enemy jungler top, I go bottom, I ward his camps, I go bottom. Like, because the thing is, like, it all stems back, and I'll do the most simplistic example in the game, okay? I will take it all the way back to the very start of the game. So let's take the very beginning of the games, because this is the easiest to explain to people. So let's say Warwick starts blue, okay? And you start blue as well. So he does boom, 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 boom. Okay? He goes bottom after his red. And you do your thing. You do boom, 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 like what you did in this game, right? So you go top, you end on opposite sides. So let's say Warwick he kills bottom and he does what you do, okay? He kills bottom, okay, kills bottom, and then he goes and does his like Grom, or he goes and does his Krugs, and he recalls, okay? So that's basically a lot of what you do this game. You get a kill, you go do one camp, and then you base, okay? But what the correct play is, when you know the jungle is on opposite side as you, so you kill this Jace, okay? Instead of going back into your jungle to do your Krug, so you do your Rafters, you go down, okay? You go down into his jungle, you take his Gromp, but that's not the important thing. The Gromp is irrelevant, okay? Even if this Gromp is gone, doesn't matter. You want this fucking ward, okay? Because what's gonna happen, okay? We're thinking, okay? We're using our brain in the jungle. It's insane what you can do with this. So he ganks bottom, he kills Krugs, okay? He bases. Where's he gonna go?
Top side.
Exactly.
Because his bot side.
You have a ward top side, you took his Gromp, okay? You have a ward on the blue buff, you took his Gromp, okay? So what's gonna happen is he's gonna show up. His Gromp's gonna be gone. He's gonna be real sad that he got counter jungled, okay? You have this ward on the and he's gonna do something else, right? You can't do this Gromp anymore, it's gone, right? So he's gonna do something else. That's when this fucking ward comes in. He walks upwards, what is he gonna do? One of the three things. He's gonna go here, he's gonna go here, he's gonna go here, okay? So he walks upwards, you know what he's doing. He walks downwards, where's he gonna go? Wolves are down, right? So he's gonna go Rafters, okay? And based off Rafters, you know, what is he gonna do after Rafters? He has no Krugs. What's he gonna do? He's gonna go here, he's gonna go here, he's gonna go here. Very easy to play around. He only has one side to go to. So if you want to regank top, you know you're not gonna get counter ganked, okay? And this works literally throughout the game, okay? Warwick goes bottom at level 6. Take this, ward it up, okay? He's gonna kill your bot lane. Maybe he gets a double kill. Maybe he gets dragon, okay? You know, sure, that sucks. But what's he going to do afterwards, right? He's going to go top. And if you know that he goes top and you have that ward, you know what he's going to do. And guess what you can do when you know what he's going to do? You know he's going to go top. You either counter gank. If you're on the bot side, guess what? You go get the bot wards. And it repeats forever. It repeats forever. You always know where he is, and you can always play around it. And this can literally start from level 3. I've had fucking games where we start opposite side, and this happens a lot for me because I hate starting bottom most of the time, because I like ganking bottom in this meta, because it's very easy to gank a lot of these champions, like Varus, Shin, whatever. If I have one aggressive support on my team, it's free all the time, it's double kills, and guess what? One time, all I need is one time where I get one kill off bot lane, or I get one kill off mid lane, I get my ward down here, I get maybe one extra ward down here with the control or something, and I know where he's going to go. The second I see him on this ward one time, I've literally had games where I know where he is the next 15 minutes. Because every single time I make my path around, I know he's going to be bottom. I don't want a 2v2 because I don't trust my lanes. I play opposite side every time. I kill opposite side every time. Or if my bot lane is super ahead off that first gank, all I do is I ward up. My bot lane pushes in because they're ahead. I know he's bot side. He sees my bot lane ahead. He sees my bot lane pushing in a turret. I counter gank him because I know he's coming. Game's fucking over. Very simple. And Elise is one of the best fucking champs at this, right? Let's say you 2v2 top, right? You 2v2 top, and it worked out, okay? Somehow it worked out. You had a real champion instead of a Gangplank. And you won a 2v2. You kill Warwick, you get his double buffs. You kill Jace, he has to TP back. Your top laner's ahead, you take his Gromp off it, you drop your wards, okay? He's gonna go... If you see him on Gromp, he's fucked. He has to go bot side. You meet him bot side, you kill him again because you're Elise and you have double buffs on him, right? You kill him, you take his Rafters, you take his Krugs, you drop your wards. You can either die bottom, you can go mid, or you can base, you know? Where's he gonna go? You see it off the wards. And you go to your side, okay? If you see him on the bot side wards, but you're top side, like you went top side after killing him bot side, you just go kill top again. And then if he ends up going topside again because he thinks you took all of his camps, you walk into his jungle, you meet him, he's dead again. Every time. Like, you just want to put yourself in those win situations, but that shit starts from the beginning of the game. Like, especially as a champion who's like got as much early game pressure as Elise. And that's the thing. Like, you do yourself a huge disservice when you have opportunities to walk in, but you don't walk in, especially as a champion like Elise. And those are the things that are hardest to identify, and those are the things that are hardest to identify and learn, right? Because you take a look at this, if you're self-auto reviewing, right? We'll go back to this play, right? This play. You think like this is a you think this is a good play, right? Might not be the greatest play, right? You know, maybe you could have killed bot lane, got 2 kills instead. But this gank, you get this kill on this gank, and you're feeling pretty good, right? You're like, I killed top, you know.
Yeah,
but it's just like
do anything.
it doesn't do anything. And the thing is, like, what happens after, like I said, is most important because the game becomes so much easier to play when you know what the enemy jungler is gonna do. Because you can say, if you're gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this, and you never have to take a bad trade because you know what he's gonna do, and you can plan around that. If you want to fight him bottom because you're ahead, you can do that. If you want to play away from him because he's strong, or you don't trust your lane, or whatever, you can do that. But if you don't know where he is, it's always a fucking crapshoot, you know? Yeah. You can go bottom, and you might get counter ganked here, right? Like, it literally happens here. Like, you have to go bottom because Jhin, and you haven't gotten any wards for the longest time. You have no idea where he is. He could be bottom, and look what happens. He is bottom. You go for this gank. Blitzcrank doesn't initiate it well. You get condemned. You go too deep. You get ulted by Warwick, and I don't think you die. But it's like, well, you could have died if this guy didn't in. But like, yeah, that's not important. Like the fact that he ins isn't important. It's just like that's what you have to do when you don't get wards out. You don't understand. You don't know where he is because you haven't been tracking him with your wards or your intuition or whatever. Like you have to take plays like this, right? This is so fucking scary, right? There's so many ways it could go wrong, regardless of like Blitzcrank not playing it right or you getting condemned or whatever. Even without the Warwick here, like this play is already suspect. And the thing is, like, you have no idea if he's gonna be here or not because you haven't been able to set up information, and only by like the fact that he plays it really badly do you guys get away with this. It's like, yeah, it worked out, but like that's not how you want to play. Like you want to be you want to be able to just make consistent plays every time.
Yeah. If this work was actually good, I would have gone destroyed. He made a lot of mistakes too.
So after that we go. Okay, you go get blue. It's fine.
I really have a bad habit where every game, when I get into every game, I always start blue side, and I don't know when to not start blue side. Basically, like, I always start blue side.
Basically, whenever your bot lane is easy to gank.
Okay.
Whenever your bot lane, this is a god bot lane for you, dude. They have set up out the ass versus no jump, no jump. So it's like 2 squishies, no jump. That shit is fucking free, dude. Every time. So we take a look. Let's look at your bot lane, okay? So your bot lane is pushing in most of the time. But here's the thing, right? People are like, people tell me this all the time. They're like, well, I started top side because I wanted to go bot side because that's what you said, right? If it's an easy bot lane to gank, I go bot, but my bot lane's pushing all the time. Well, guess what? 90% of junglers, okay, I'm pulling numbers out my ass, but a lot of junglers, you included, I'm sure you can attest to this, they do this, or this, right? All the time.
Yeah.
And then, so what that means is when they do these paths, right? And you do this path instead, you do this, right? And let's say your bot lane is right here, they're pushed, okay? You can't gank it, you can't dive it. They're too healthy to dive, too pushed to gank. And they're like, what do I do? Well, guess what? You can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Whereas, like, so you have 1 option, 2 options, 3 options, 4 options, 5 options, okay? And if you had started the opposite side, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options, right? If you end top side, you have literally the same amount of options. But the thing is, when you start top side instead of bot side, you can go for these 2 instead of having to do your own these 2. And that's always better because, like I said, you always want to take your opportunity to go into his jungle when you can. Yeah. And when you start topside, not only the thing about starting topside is you only ever have to start topside when you think you can go bottom. And so basically, if you're starting topside, it means I think I can go bottom or I want to be bottom. So you're already ending where you want to end. And then if the number one like thing you were looking for, like I wanted to gank bottom, but I can't gank bottom, that doesn't work out. Your backup plan is I get free wards in his jungle because he won't be here because he's ending top side. So I get to ward for free without ever having to worry about getting caught, and I get his camps. That's a pretty good plan B.
Yeah.
It's so starting top side, the only thing you give up for all those advantages, you know, getting able to go into his jungle for free, you know, getting able to potentially get 2 kills out of a gank instead of 1, double the setup instead of 1 only person setup. On top of all that, only thing you lose is your leash. If you're playing Lee Sin, Elise, any meta jungler really, like any jungler that doesn't suck, you really don't care about losing the leash, you know? If you're playing fucking, I don't know, Fiddlesticks jungle, like yeah, maybe you're gonna really, not getting the leash or not getting the blue buff regen, it's gonna really suck, you know? But for any champion that isn't actually horrible and doesn't need blue buff regen for 2 camps worth of kills, you'll be fine. It's a little slower, yes, okay? You're gonna be down 5 to 10 seconds behind the other guy in pacing. Okay. But the thing is, it doesn't matter because he's not gonna you're not gonna run into him, okay? So the pacing doesn't matter. All of your ganks, bot side, are gonna be uncountered because he's gonna end top side. And the only thing that might be worse is if your mid laner is pushed up really hard early and you miss the timing. So like the only times like that pacing will ever matter is if like Katarina's right here instead of right there, and then your bot lane's right here so you can't gank it, and then Warwick or whoever the jungler is, he beats you mid by like 5 seconds, okay? And then like the chances that the times that that happens is so rare. Like the times where like you're literally 5 seconds late to mid to counter gank and your mid laner's already so pushed up that he dies like 3 minutes into the game, is so rare. And if that happens, you just say unlucky. Like it's literally just like sometimes your mid laner is just that bad. And like if you're really afraid of that, you just tell him to play like, hey, like Katarina, hug bot side. I'm ending bot side. Like, and then he'll be like, if he's not really dumb, he'll be like, okay, I will hug the bot side. So when the Warwick comes to gank me from top, I can run into you and we can counter gank.
Yeah.
Your mid laner is already should be playing on your side. But like it's just like you tell him like, hey, he's gotta come from top side. You back ping 50 times on the blue buff and say, play bot side. I'm gonna be on the bot side. If you get ganked, you can run to me. So those are like that's like the only real situation where the pacing really matters. So, and that's already such like a minor like edge case that it shouldn't really matter most of the time anyway. So that's the benefits to starting top side. But like I said, like at the beginning, if you want to gank top, you know, like same thing as like I'll go all the way back, you know. If you want to gank top, you know, and let's say like instead of fucking Jace versus Gangplank, it's like Aurelia versus Darius or something, okay? And it's a lane that like you get 1 kill for like the Darius or something, and he just wins forever, okay? Yeah. It's completely fine, you know? He's also got real setup for you instead of a fucking skill shot slow. So if you want to go top, like if you're starting bottom because you think top is the good gank, like you think top's a good gank, go for it, okay? It's nothing wrong with starting bottom. The problem is when you choose to start because I want a leash. That's when it's a problem. If the only reason you want to start bottom is because I want the leash, then that's bad. But if you say, I want to start bottom because I want a 2v2 top, I want to gank top, I want to invade him in the jungle on his blue buff, you know, I want to meet him there, I want to 1v1 him, I want to fight for the scuttle, I want to gank mid from top side for some reason, go for it, okay? It's just, if any of those are like, I don't want to gank top, I don't want to fight him 2v2, I don't want to fight him 1v1, I don't want to gank middle from top side, then start top. Don't start bottom. Okay, that's it. You know. And if you're really not sure, you're like, I don't know. Like I don't know the matchup. I don't know the top. I don't know the jungle matchup. I don't know the top lane matchup. Then just start bottom for the leash usually. But aside from that, like top side, completely fine. Like completely fine to start. You know, you don't see it that often, but like. It's a thing where it's like, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not good. It's just like, a lot of people don't do it because they're comfortable doing this, you know? They do this every game, so you know, like, what to do off of it. And it's just like an autopilot thing. Like, there's so many people who they just start bottom, and then it's a fucking like a Maokai versus like an Or in top lane. You're like, well, I don't want to gank top. And then I asked him, well, why did you start bottom then? It's like, because I always start bottom. And it's just like,
Yeah.
well, you see the problem here, right? It's like, if you don't have a reason to start bottom, then don't start bottom.
My logic was that like I knew that Gangplank was gonna get pushed in a lot easily, and I thought that okay, so if he's gonna get pushed in, it's gonna be a lot of easy ganks because he's not gonna.
Okay, so here's where that line of thinking is fine. Okay, if you're playing like, let's say Cade. Okay, let's say you're playing Graves. You're playing a jungler who says my laners suck. I want gold and I want to carry. Okay, so that's when it's like you pick the lane that's easiest to gank and you just gank it over and over because you don't care about your laners. Okay, you don't care about your laners. You say I want my items. How do I get my items fast? I kill the easiest lane to gank. What's my easiest lane to gank? Top side? Okay, I'm starting bottom. I'm killing top. That's it.
Okay, yeah.
That works. You know, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But the problem is you're playing Elise, okay? So you're playing Elise. You don't scale that well, okay? You want to end the game fast, right?
Yeah.
So the best way to end the game fast is you break a turret. So here, we'll draw it out. So you break turret, okay? You break bot lane turret. Bot lane goes top, gets gangplank out of the hard lane. Jace tries to hold tower 1v2 because no one knows how to rotate in solo queue. You 3-man dive Jace. Jace dies, you get the turret. You get the turret, you get the rift, you get the rift. You try to go middle. If mid's a huge wave clear champion, like an Aria or something, and you have no pressure to wave clear, you use the rift, you kill mid turret, okay?
Okay.
You kill the mid turret with rift. Now they have no outers, okay? They have no outers. This is what you do. If you're ahead, you can force this dragon. You kill this dragon. This dragon's off the map. You walk into their jungle with your support. You ping 50 times. Assist me, assist me, assist me. You walk into the jungle. You try to find their support warding alone. Their AD carry rotating. Their mid laner rotating. Their top laner rotating. The jungler farming alone. Anything. And you kill them because your support's behind you. You walk in 2-man strong. Your team's in the mid lane. So if a team fight happens, your team just walks from middle. This is really dirty. So you walk in, okay, so this is you, this is your jungler. You walk into their jungle, okay? The rest of your team, mid lane. Okay, so I'll do, this is your AD carry, this is your mid laner, this is you, this is your support, this is your top laner. Irrelevant. Okay, so you walk in, this tower is dead. Okay, so this tower is dead. You walk in, you find their, let me switch colors. So you find their support, okay? You find their support, you start fighting their support, okay? And then turns out their jungler's on red buff. Their AD carries was on Krugs. He comes up. Their top laner, their mid laner is like right here. And they're like, wait, we got to defend this support, right? So they all collapse, okay? They all collapse on you, and a fight starts. What happens is the two people mid lane, they come down. And then the top laners, top laners don't matter. The top laners are like, hey, man, what's going on? And it's like, oh, is it a team fight? Are we TPing? And then it's like, are you TPing? It's like, oh, I'm TPing. It's like, okay, I'm TPing too. That's all. That's it. And then it's just like, the fight starts, but like, it starts out as a 2v1 because you have you and your support, whereas their jungler and their support aren't going to be walking together. They're not going to be walking together. The support will probably try to ward alone. The jungler will probably be farming camps. AD carry will be doing God knows what. You know, maybe he'll be bottom for no reason. You know, most of the time, if you've run into one guy here, it's going to be a free pick. And it's only if, you know, sometimes it won't be free. You know, sometimes their whole team is ready for it. And like I said, the collapse comes. Worst case worst, you 4v4. But if you already have all these towers dead, you're probably ahead and you're down to 4v4 anyway. So that doesn't matter. So that's the thing. You pick one lane, okay? Whether it's you kill top turret first, you kill bot turret first. Whatever happens is you kill one of the turrets. Whoever you get the turret of, you rotate to the other lane. You know, whether it's top first or it's bot first and then rotate top. Either way you do it, you do that, and then you get the objective on the side that's the side you're playing on after you get the turrets. You get the rift or you get the dragon. Mid lane's always the hardest turret to get, but it's also the most important turret to get, so don't feel bad rifting for tier 1 middle every single game. And then once you get that, all the outers are gone, and then suddenly, this is better showed in first person, so I need to see you. What's the time you look at middle? Let me see. When do you look at mid lane? Okay, so you gotta kill mid lane, like right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't the best angle, but we'll make do. Okay. So ignore what's going on the screen. I'm just looking at this part. Okay. So
throughout the game, I wasn't really looking mid.
Okay, so I talked about it a little bit during the game. I said like mid priority a few times. I don't know if you know what that means. So basically, you see this minion wave? Okay, this minion wave is like the line of scrimmage. Okay, I don't know if you follow sports or whatever, but it's basically just think of it as like an invisible wall. Okay, and just like you see these minions in front. Okay, just extend this all the way. Okay. When your mid lane wave is right here, everything behind this line, right here, all this is yours, okay?
Yeah.
All of it. And then the same goes for the opposite, okay? When their mid lane wave, they're yellow, okay? So when their wave is right here, right? Let's say it's like right here, okay? Their minions are right here. That becomes all of this shit in the jungle, like in the river and shit. That's all theirs. It's all theirs. You don't want to walk in because what is going to happen if we back up a little bit here? What's gonna happen? This angle's fine. Okay, so what's gonna happen here is if they had mid priority here and you walk over here, okay? Let's say you walk through here. Wrong P. Warwick comes out.
Yeah.
Ari's right here, okay? Let's say Ari's this dot, and Katarina's this dot up here, okay? If Ari cuts here, Katarina is gonna be second, right? She's not gonna beat Ari here because Ari is a straight line. Warwick's right here. He walks into you, you're dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because he has first response. Mid priority is really important, and you need to be watching out for that whenever you invade. Because whenever your mid laner is pushed in, they're gonna beat you there first. Okay. They're gonna beat you first, and you're gonna die. You're gonna get collapsed on unless your bot lane bails you out. The same happens for every lane. Like I'm sure, like you've had situations where like you're doing Krugs or something, but your top laner's under turret, their jungler walks in and you just die because your top laner can't follow. And that happens for every lane. It's just most important for middle because mid lane, the river is the river is controlled by the mid lane, basically. So, and why I'm bringing this up now is because when you kill this turret, right, your mid lane, like your minions can't cross this, right, because this turret's up. But the second this turret's dead, right, your mid lane can go all the way up here, right? And the same thing applies, right? It's a line. When this line cuts through here, guess what? All this jungle is yours. All of it is fucking yours. Because what's going to happen is, if your mid lane wave is right here, and you're on the side right here, you walk into the jungle through here, you go for these rafters, and their jungler tries to fight you for these rafters, what's going to happen is, they're stuck under this turret. Their whole team is right here, these X's. They're under the turret. Okay? And your team is right here. And your team just says, hey, this is our jungle, beat it, and they kill him.
Okay.
Which is why when you get the mid lane turret, the game opens up, right? Because suddenly, instead of having the limit of whenever you push in mid, your line's right here, or right here on the minimap, it becomes right here. And then all this jungle is yours. On the opposite side too, all this jungle is yours whenever you play that side. Which is why mid turret is so important, and it's why breaking open the game is so important, right? Whenever if your mid laner is behind, right? Your mid laner was ahead this game. If your mid laner is behind, and you're ahead, what's going to happen is you're going to invade, okay? You're going to invade, you meet Warwick, and you can kill Warwick, for sure. You fuck up this dude 1v1, you know? But your mid laner is behind, you're going to get collapsed on.
Yeah.
So, this can't happen, though, if you pick the strong lane, you gank it over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over. The strong lane, you just run it down on the strong lane. You get the turret, you tell your strong lane, go kill this turret. Okay, they kill that turret. And then suddenly, you have one last thing to do. You go for Rift, or you just go for middle if you can get mid off Rift, and then you get it off it. And then suddenly, that same situation happens. Hey Warwick, what's going on? He's like, bro, I got my team behind you. This is my jungle. No, you don't anymore because I have your turret. You can't collapse. I kill you 1v1. And you snowball the game. Because you kill him, and then you take his jungle. He never catches up because catch-up XP is nerfed, and you just get wards out every time. Every time you kill him, another ward, another ward, another ward. And he can't recover. Because catch-up XP is not a thing anymore. You can't recover from you taking his camps every time you invade. Every single time you see him on the invade, he tries to fight you, he dies. He doesn't try to fight you because he knows he can't. He concedes the camp. Still a win for you. So that's why when you play a champ like Elise that's so early game oriented, you never want to go for lanes This lane doesn't exist. Gangplank is not a champion in the early game. You pick one lane, you know? Could have been middle, you know? Mid lane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bot lane? Okay. This lane? No.
Yeah.
So you just pick whichever one you think is easier, you know? Maybe their mid laner is really easy to gank. Maybe he's playing fucking Veigar with, like, Ignite. Who knows? And you just kill him every time, you know? Already kind of hard, but, like, you know, if you can hit the cocoons, you're confident, or your mid laner is, like, Malzahar or something dumb, then, like, oh, shit, free kills all day, right? Just for the sake of this game, Katarina no CC, Aria 3 dashes, bot lane probably the easiest. Yeah, Blitzcrank Jin to set up.
Yeah.
Probably
I
could
should
have
have
gone
just
bottom.
went bot.
Yeah.
I
But-
just wasted like the early game on top. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much. And that's basically like the extent I like this game.
Yeah.
Like, and it changes every game, you know, like some games bot lane's not gonna be possible. You have to play through top side. Some games both your side lanes are worthless. You have a Malzahar middle, you kill mid 7 times, you know? Like sometimes you just do that. It's just like you identify it and then you execute it. That's it, all there is to it. The most important thing is when you go into game and the loading screen, unfortunately we didn't get to see it because of the fucking black screen.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. That's when you this is for you. Like you need to identify, okay, where am I gonna start based on where is it easiest to gank? And then you do it. Okay? You don't wanna in the middle of the game say like, you know, I think top lane's pretty good as you're walking to top lane.
Yeah.
You wanna say, okay, the beginning of the game, I think bot lane is good, I'm gonna start top, or I think top lane is good to gank, I'm gonna start bottom, and then you do it from the start because it's so much easier. And this is the same thing as like F keys. You don't wanna have to make yourself think about too many things at the same time because that's when things are hard. When you can focus on one thing, right, the game becomes so much easier because you understand what to do and all you have to do is go do it. Whereas like Whereas if you're not doing that, you have to, in the game, on the fly, understand, I should be doing this, and then I have to do this, or I think this is this, and then you're thinking about it while you're clearing your camps instead of washing your lanes and stuff, and then it just, there's too many multitasking going on at once, and then it just becomes really hard to play, because you're overthinking because you didn't set yourself up beforehand. It's kind of like it's like the same concept as like when you're not using your red buff and you're slow to hit cocoon, right? You're like, why are you making it any harder on yourself than you have to, right? Just make it easy on yourself, get the game plan out in your head before the game starts, and then just execute it. And you know, sometimes your top laner has like no brain or he dies level 1 and you have to adapt, right? And that sucks, right? And that's why League of Legends is hard, you know? If the League of Legends was chalked up to, I'm gonna go gank bottom, because bot lane is easy to set up for, and every single game, hey, we killed bottom, we killed dot turret, and then we transitioned into top turret, and it's like, if it was that easy every game, then everyone would be fucking challenger, right? The hardest part is when, you know, like, you go bottom, but they die 2v2 before you make it there, right? And they're just like, shit, well, I have to adjust now, right? And that sucks, right? And it's tough. It's the hardest part of jungling, you know? You have to take what you're given. But the first step is to plan out something, and then go from there, right?
Yeah.
And that's the core of it. So the rest of this shit, like, it doesn't, okay, I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, okay? But the thing is, past the early game, first off, you want to have a way bigger lead than you did in the early game, going into, like, the later parts of the game. But the thing is, I don't like talking about this shit because every single team fight is, like, different. And I'll get to, so I'm just gonna explain, this is the last point, like, team fighting is not only the hardest thing in League of Legends, but it's probably the worst thing you can do when you're trying to win consistently, okay? When you gank top lane, what do you have to take into account, right? You have to take into account the minion wave, you have to take into account like the HP of your top laner and the enemy top laner, maybe the summoners, maybe your summoners and stuff. So there's a decent amount of like where the jungler is, you know, like am I gonna get roamed on? There's a pretty good amount of variables, right? And then you think about how many variables there are in a team fight. Is my mid laner gonna go on the back line? Do I have to go on the back line? Do we win if I go on the back line? Do I just hit with my AD carry? Like where's my AD carry? What's our engage look like? What's the support supposed to do in the fight? How do I use my actives? You know, do we have a redemption? Do we have Knight's Vow? Are we fighting around Baron? Do we have vision of the area? Like all this shit. Every single cooldown, like, do I go on the AD carry? Does he have flash? Do I flash on him? Does their support have like redemption? Do they have Mikhail's? Like The example I'll always use is you put a challenger player in a Diamond 5 game, he's going to win 80-90% of the time. You put a challenger player in a Diamond 5 game 30 minutes in, give him no lead, no item lead, and you say you have to team fight to win now, he's probably still going to win most of his games, you know? But it's not going to be 80-90. It's going to be 70-80 or 60-70 because team fights are the thing with the most variables in League of Legends. And people say, like, well, people do unranked to challenger all the time, and people, like, they team fight. Well, it's like, yeah, they have 20 fucking kills. It's pretty easy to team fight when you have 20 fucking kills and you're the best player in the server, right? But, like, team fighting is still the most variables. If you told the challenger player, hey, man, you can start the game from minute 0 or you can start the game from minute 30, he's going to pick 0 all the time because there's points in the game where there's way less variables, and then you just take advantage of those. And then when you're 20 kills in or your team is really ahead, League of Legends becomes a lot easier. And that's why it's so important. And that's why I literally just spent like over an hour talking about all these early game things, because you don't ever want to get to a point where you have to say, you know what, team, we have to 4-man flash on the Vayne. Her flash comes up in 3 minutes, so she's got no flash. So we're just going to go all in on her. And then the second priority target is this, and the third priority target is this, and our engage looks like this, and we want to fight around the bear. It's like, yeah, you know, if you're trying to win, you do talk about all that. But once you're at that point, it's not out of your hands, but a lot of it is out of your hands, you know? Your mid laner might DC in the middle of the fight, and you just fucking lose. You know, there's nothing you can do about that. But what you can do is you never let it get to that point. And that's why, like, talking about all these team fights and all this shit, like, there's the second part, like, there's the second part of the video, I think, like, all this shit, and, like, even up to, like, right when you guys lose the game, like, granted, like, yeah, you should have pushed bot lane here, and you guys definitely shouldn't have tried to kill double inhibs with 0 creeps behind you, and then you get engaged on, and you lose because they have triple mountain, like, oh, what a surprise, like, hey, look, I'll analyze this team fight, so, what's going on, you have wave coming in, Jin's walking up. How does this engage happen? You're all hitting the inhib. You have no creeps to stand behind. I think the charm missed. I'm not really sure. Okay, so
missed.
Miss.
And then Gangplank is.
Yeah, Gangplank's walking up hitting the inhibitor. Like no one has anything to block Jace poke. Grab comes. Aria just goes in. Everyone's getting chunked. Warwick zones out the back line, even though he misses his ult. Everyone's getting chunked. There's no battle lines drawn. GP dies without doing anything. Loses his GA2. You're all 1 HP. You get run down. Like. Okay, like what's the point of analysis here? Like what exactly? That's the thing. And if you had a choice, right, it's like I don't want to be in this situation. Like I definitely wouldn't have wanted to be in this situation. Fuck no.
I was like, this is retarded when I was at that situation. It's like I was really indecisive. Usually I'm more aggressive into like what we should do.
Yeah.
Macro wise, I usually spam ping bot and
that's what you should have done here.
Yeah, I shouldn't have followed them.
Yeah, but here's the thing: at the end of the day, you don't want games to get here anyway. And I'm not saying a series like 40 minutes time to FF, right? That's not what I'm saying at all. It's not like you still try to win, but you acknowledge like there's no point in beating yourself up over missing like maybe like last fight. Oh, if I hit this cocoon, we would have won this team fight. Would have won the game. Okay, what does that matter? Hit the cocoon next time, okay? That's it. That's the extent of the analysis, right? That's what you take from it. Next time, I'll hit the cocoon. Next time, I won't flash on the AD carry. Next time, I won't do this. Okay, 5-second analysis, done. That's all you needed to know, right? It's like, okay, this was bad, I'm not going to do it again. That's literally it. Which is why, but the thing is, like, when it comes down back to all this stuff, right? Like, all this shit, like, in the early game, you know? There's levels to all this. Because I did this, because I ganked top, I wasn't able to go bottom, and then I wasn't able to blow up in the game. And then if I had done this instead, then this would have done this. There's way more depth to all of this early game stuff, and it matters a lot more than I missed Cocoon Vayne last fight, and she got away, and she killed us all. Like, sometimes that fucking happens, and it sucks, and you go next. That's it. That's all there is to it. All this stuff, like, okay, like, wrapping up, like, a lot of this stuff, it's tough to apply like immediately. Okay.
Yeah.
The easiest things to apply, I'd say, like get either like a notepad if you find yourself doing it a lot. Like, I see the enemy jungler bottom. What do? I go top. I take his camps. I ward. Same thing when he's top. I see him top. I go into his jungle. I try to do something on the opposite side of the map. If I can't gank, I can't get an objective. I take his camps. I ward. I play off that. I watch where he leaves off of his ganks. I watch which HP he is. If he's too low, I know he's gonna back. I can play off that. If he's really healthy, he might take my camps. Just keep it all in your head, you know. Just just watch what he does, and then play off of it, you know. And that's all there is to it. You have any questions before we finish up?
Just a quick question. If I were playing, like, for example, Kane, would the flow of the game be much more different, like prioritizing wise? Because like Kane is like more like a not much of an early game champion.
Yeah,
I suppose.
So Kane, go for it. You can go ahead and finish.
So like there are times where I play Kane, and I feel like most of the time, if it's hard to gank my laners, and I end up just having to AFK farm my jungle and just ward enemy jungle. And do I just have to wait until like I get my form?
So with Kane, well, definitely, like, yeah, you're barely a champion until form. But the thing about Kane is basically you want to be very efficient as far as farming camps go, obviously. But the thing about Kane is that a lot of the time, like the gank, like I said, the ganks like this are a lot better when you're Kane because you just want form, right? You just want you want your orbs, you want your gold. So like if it's free, you go for it. But aside from that, generally, like, yeah, you play a lot more passive in the early game as Kane. Yeah, you wait and pick your opportunities a lot more. When you play something like Elise, Lee Sin, you know, you have to push the tempo.
Aggressive, yeah.
Because that's the way your champion works. So
would reksai work the same way too?
Reksai is kind of an in between. You can.
Okay, yeah, that's what I felt. Yeah.
Reksai, like the way I play Reksai, I play it super aggro. Like a lot of the times, I'm just fighting the enemy guy, or I'll be forcing ganks over and over. You don't scale that well, but you have builds that like you can either like the Cinderhope build kind of sucks, but like even if you just do like the warrior build into stuff, like you have a lot of like dueling pressure and like you just do so much damage that like you can still force things outside of like the early game. Outside like and you farm a lot faster than like Elise Lee Sin, so you don't have to worry about it as much. It's kind of like an in between. Like Kane, that's definitely like a pick and wait your opportunities kind of champion because that's just the necessity because that's why your champion is. The important thing about Kane, the thing that makes Kane hard is you need to identify when you. Sometimes you literally just like skip a camp to just go get orbs off people, even if you don't think you're gonna kill. Especially if it's the form you want. Like sometimes you just pressure gank on Kane because that's just the nature of your champion. Like if your laners are like losing too hard, like sometimes you just like you show up, you know, you hit them a few times for some orbs and you back up just to get pressure off. But like Kane, it's more of like if to talk about like the other champs, I'd really have to see the game and then like we can talk about it more from there because it's hard to just like say like yeah, every time you play this champion you want to do this kind of thing because like especially for a champion like Kane or like Reksai where you can be like Kane, like you're not as flexible as in like what you gank, but it's like the times you do gank, you have to be a lot more flexible about because you don't always have the same pressure as like Elise or like Lee Sin or Reksai, right? When you go gank as Elise, Lee Sin, Reksai level 3, it's a very like brutal gank. Like it's almost always getting sums or a kill. Whereas like Kane, it's not the same. You gotta really just pick and choose. So it's more of like I have to kind of watch kind of thing. Anything else?
Not really. Are you gonna upload this on YouTube or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want it like ASAP or like? I can like
sure.
okay. It's like you want
Sure.
okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you ever want to schedule again, you just message me. We'll get something sorted out. Sorry for last week I did not like it was a random thing that came up. So yeah, I don't normally have to reschedule, but like yeah, that was just unfortunate. So I'm sorry about that.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
If I ever do this again, would it be okay to use like Twitch stream instead?
Yeah.
With the delay?
Yeah. Oh, with the delay?
Like 15 seconds. I don't know how to make it 0 seconds for delay.
If we do it again, we'll talk about it beforehand.
Okay.
we'll just
Okay.
get something sorted out. Because yeah, if you do get bad FPS playing screen share, then yeah, we'll think of something else. We won't do the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll see you around, dude.
All right. See ya. Thanks for the coach.